Hey everybody, it's Doug here, Doug Mystic Guy and Board Game Geek, bringing you our next episode of Wizard Academy, where we have some corrections. I botched some stuff up last turn, trying to run through the turns more quickly because I thought I was getting comfortable with the game, and apparently not. So some people showed me some stuff. Anyway, I'm going to go through a couple of those. There's one I'm not going to bother to fix. It was my own fault. I screwed up someone's turn, and that's the way it goes, and blah, 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 yada, yada. Anyway, let's get on. So first off, we got three wizards that are trying to save the academy from an onslaught of demons. We got Nivetta, the female wizard who turned herself into a bear person. We got Flitter, who's some kind of fairy pixie thing, and then Bramble Thorne, who's a treant, and they're trying to save the Wizard's Academy from an onslaught of demons and imps and things that are coming into it by getting 4 guardians into the corner rooms. We still have 1 room to go, but we don't have any ability to get one in there yet. So let's continue and start with our corrections. The first one is from Brian Stone. Thank you, Brian. It was regarding this deface spell. When I first cast it, I should have taken a glyph away from them because the deface spell says select a glyph type. At least one wizard has. Everyone loses the glyph of that type. Well, we would have selected this one for Bramble Thorne because at the time I went back and reviewed the video. He was the only one that had any of those. Along with Flitter, so Flitter would have lost hers as well, but that's the breaks, and we're okay there. So I got rid of those just to catch us up on that. There were a couple of other things, but I spawned one too many imps, but I also botched up Flitter's turn. Let me go to the board now. Okay, so here I'm going to take away one of these imps because there would have only been 2 there. I should only spawned 1 in the portal, and that's really the biggest one. The other one is I played Flitter's card twice. So this actually would have been her card. This would not have been her card. The card that I played last turn would have been her card, but I'm not going to go back and correct it. I'm just leave it alone. But just know that I did that. And then we're going to get on and start taking our turns. That was the only ones that were major enough for me to want to go back and fix. The rest of them are my own fault, my problem. But we're going to get on with it and continue. We're going to start with Bramble Thorne, who does have a disaster to work through. So let's take a look at that and see what he's got. So here's Bramble Thorne, and Bramble Thorne's threat says activate all threats in the warded room and the cursed room. Well, there are no threats in the warded room, but there is an imp portal and an imp in the cursed room, so we're going to activate them. The first part of that's easy. We're going to activate the imp portal, by putting another imp in the cursed room. And the second part of that is we're going to look at the situation for the activation of the imp that's there. It doesn't matter which order we do it, so I'm only going to activate one of the imps. It says in a room with a wizard, there isn't one. So all other situations, draw a location card, the imp moves in that direction. So that's what's going to happen because there's nowhere that they can go. So we're going to draw a location card, which is they're going to head up northward toward the horde. So one of the imps is going to go there. I've got to shuffle up the location deck. We have recycled through it. And I forgot also, what we could have done with Bramble Thorne is cancel that. His ability, a special ability, is to cancel botched cast spells in a room by paying a number of glyphs equal to the spell. So that, for instance, that deface spell, I guess we could have canceled it. Maybe, I don't know, but that's okay. Anyway, let's get on now with Bramble Thorne's new disaster, which is going to be wild magic, and we're going to randomize the unbound spells. So that's going to be for next turn. Now we're going to take Bramble Thorne's actual actions. Let me think about what Bramble Thorne can do, and I think I don't know. We're going to move around a bit, I believe. Yeah, let's move around. The problems are that some of our higher level glyphs are in rooms with guardians, and that's making it really difficult because I'm trying to get to some other spells. I can get to one though, and Bramble Thorne is a place where his first action is going to be to take a room action and pick up one of these glyphs here so that I can cast a spell. So there's the glyph that he picked up. Now currently he's got one of these, and there is still one of those spells of well, no, yes, there is. Okay, so he's going to for his next action, is he going to move or cast a spell? He's going to cast a spell. So these are the 2 glyphs that he's going to use to cast a spell, and I'm going to show you which one that is on the board. It is this one right here, so you can see the junction between the 2. So we're going to spend those, we're going to cast a spell. Hopefully it's something good. Oh no, it's the Kleptomania spell. Select another player, take all the glyphs from their glyph collection, and shared glyphs and place them in your collection. So we're going to do that. I think all the glyphs, huh? Well, he'll take it from Flitter. Flitter only has one glyph, and that's this one. So he took that glyph from Flitter and cast the Kleptomania spell, so we know where that is again. So if we cast it again, which we should be able to do, especially with Flitter's special ability, and with Nevetta having it this in a shared space, we might be able to do that on Flitter's turn, which is coming up next. Okay, we can still move with Bramble Thorne, and I think we will. Yeah, we're going to definitely move with Bramble Thorne. So Bramble Thorne's going to move here to the laboratory, and then we're going to continue on. So that is Bramble Thorne's turn. Now we're going to have an imp explosion. Good news is only one of our people is within range of an imp, and it's not going to be that detrimental. So let's continue on. Here's Flitter, and Flitter has an imp invasion, so the first thing we're going to do is activate imps. There's quite a few of them out there. And then if there are fewer than 3 threatening imp portals, which there's 2, we're going to put one out, and then we're going to activate the portal. So let's go back to the board. We're going to start here, because those ones actually have something they can do. They're adjacent to a wizard with glyphs. So what do imps do in that situation? Let me see. It says, in a room with a wizard that has no glyphs. Now, in a room with a glyph, all those situations, draw a location card. So basically, oh, that's the endursed. Ah, man, I see. In a room with a wizard who has glyphs, in a room with a glyph. So they're activating, but they're just going to move randomly. So we'll do this one first. We're going to draw a location card and see which way they go. It's going to go south into here, but that's all it's going to do. And then we're going to draw another one for the other one, and it too is going south. They both are chasing after Nevetta into this room. And then that's what all of them are going to do, basically, because none of them are in a place where they can do anything. So we have this one right up here that's going to do the same thing. We're going to draw a location card. It's going to move to this direction, back to the other portal in the cursed room. And then the last one here, well, the second to last one is going to move north. Boom, and then we have one more up here in the north. It's right here. This one just moved into here, so we have one more there, and it is going to go nowhere because it can't. And that's it. So boom, that's the imp invasion. Now we're going to draw a location card to put out another imp portal, and it is going to be in the holy room. So that is way up in the corner with a guardian. I don't think, let me just double check, but I don't think that's going to happen, because the guardian will kill it. Will kill anything coming out of the portal. I don't know if it kills the portal itself. I have to look up guardians, but portals. Okay, we are going to put the portal in there. Let me see guardians. Guardians can be targeted. No. I'm trying to see what the guardians do to the things in the rooms. So if we have an imp portal, for example, let's see. Let me look it up. Okay, slight oops. I was looking at the basic game rules for these 2 imps here, not the advanced ones. They would have moved in here anyway. And if Nevetta stays there, she stays there and ends her turn there, she's going to lose a glyph. So we just need to keep track of that. Now, I'm still looking at the Guardians thing. I cannot find what I'm looking for. Okay, guys, I can't find it. I found under imps that if an imp appears or moves into a room with a Guardian, it'll be killed, but it doesn't say you don't put an imp portal there. So now we're going to activate the imp portals, which means we're going to put one here, if you can see that. Yeah, you can't. And then one here, but it says if an imp enters a room with a Guardian, it's destroyed. So I'm going to have to play it that way until I'm going to look it up, because I'm not going to do it right now. I'll play out this session and see if that's the way I understand it. Correct me if I'm wrong. If the imp portal would not appear with the Guardian, let me know. It seems kind of awkward. Or it could just be a weird set of circumstances based on the randomization of the game, which is highly possible. But let's continue on. So that was Flitter's disaster card. Boom, it is gone. Now she's going to get a new one that is activate threats. Okay, so we're going to activate some threats with her next turn. Doesn't look too bad. And then we're going to move on to Nevetta. Okay. Well, yeah, here's what's going to happen. I do believe. So yeah, Nevetta is in the room. She's got 3 of these glyphs, but we got to do her threat first, which is activate all threats in the Horde and the Awakened room. Well, in the Horde, there are 2 imps. They're nowhere near a player, so they are going to move in a random direction. And then in the Awakened room, I don't think there is Oh, there's an imp portal in the Awakened Room and an imp. So we're going to do some stuff here. So the first ones, let's do these two guys in the Horde. I'm just going to move. Do I move them both in the same direction? I don't know. Move towards the Cursed Room. Well, that's easy enough. Boom. Moves into here. And then the next one will move into there anyway because it's going to the first direction in one. Okay. And then over here we have an imp portal, so it's going to spawn one. This one will move in a random direction, and it moves. Can't move that direction, so it doesn't move because that is a dead end. And then another one appears there at the portal, and that's it for that card. That is going to end Nivetta's threat. We're going to get a new disaster. It's going to be a water disaster. We have a couple of those out, so we're going to just keep that with her. And then she's going to get to take her turns. Now, she's got a bunch of these glyphs, but they really aren't doing her any good because the spell that's out already exists. So, okay, what could we do here? So, Bramble Thorne has a glyph shared, which really can't do anything. Well, I guess it can actually, yeah. It can do, okay. So, alright, here's what we're going to do. First action, we're going to cast a spell. Boom, that happens. And then we're going to cast a spell using this glyph and this shared glyph from Bramble Thorne, which means we're going to cast the intersection of here. Hopefully Bramble Thorne will be able to do, or Flitter is going to be able to do something before, or sorry, rather Bramble Thorne's going to get a wild magic. I don't know if I want to do that. I think I'm going to take that back because it's not going to help. So the reason it's not going to help is because Bramble Thorne is going to randomize those cards. But what it will do is not allow us to randomize the Kleptomania card because these are level, no, they're level 2s. So we would shuffle up the level 2s, but that's not very effective. Let's do this. We're going to do a bunch of moves. So Nivetta is going to go here for 2 because it, by the way, another little botch I did, it takes 2 to move through water, and then another one to there. And that's going to be Nivetta's entire action. So next turn that water space is going to activate, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. But we're out of the imp rooms now, and that's a good thing. So let's continue on. By the way, it's pretty hard to remember some of these little rules that aren't like on a big reference card or anything, like the water, taking 2 moves to move into the water. So I think that makes this game better when you have other people around because you got to remember those little things. But we're going to move on now to Bramble Thorne again. And Bramble Thorne, as you know, has 2 glyphs and a wild magic card to deal with. So we'll start with Bramble Thorne's wild magic card, and it's going to be randomize the unbound spells in the highest level set of spells that have been cast. Unfortunately, that is going to be the Kleptomania spell again. So we're going to do this because that's the last one that was. No, Deface was the last one cast, right? Yep, I'm putting those back. Putting those back where they were because that would be the way it goes. Okay. Now, let's do this. We are going to shuffle. I'm just going to do it off camera. I'm randomizing all the level 2s. I don't know what they are anyway, so I'm just picking some up and moving them around because I haven't really popped any of them except for Deface, which is the last one I did. Okay, so that's going to be that card. Now we're going to draw a new disaster for, I randomized them. We're going to, wow, big activation, possibly. It doesn't look like, actually it's not going to activate much of anything. So that's pretty good. And that's going to go on Bramble Thorne. Now Bramble Thorne gets to take some turns. Bramble Thorne's in the laboratory. He's got 1 glyph. And I think now we're going to cast that because it's with the one that's shared with Nivetta. So Nivetta has this shared, so they're going to cast that. Let me just double check that, and yeah, that and this one. And we're going to show you which spell we're going to cast. We're going to cast this one, the ones at the junction of here and here. So we're going to cast this spell and see what it is. Boom, hopefully it's freeze. Place an ice token in your room. Replace all water tokens in your current and adjacent location with ice tokens. Well, that's not good. We know this is freeze right here, but we're gonna do this now. Okay, so we're gonna place take this water token off and replace it with a ice token rather, And then in the room where Niveta is, we're also going to place a single ice token. And they're not going to do anything else. It requires 2 ice tokens for something bad to happen. But that is what happened when Bramble Thorne... I'm sorry, that is not true. I got the wrong location. Put that back. Boom. Okay, it's here. This is Bramble Thorne. So that's actually it's going to be here that appears, and then here with that water token. Okay, there. That's correct now. All right, and that is going to be it for the spell that we cast. And remember that is freeze, so we know where Kleptomania and freeze is now. Hopefully we'll be able to get that. So to that end, Bramble Thorne's going to put the other glyph like that in his shared spot, so that Niveta can cast that, or cast. We got to be in the library, or we need to. Oh wait, I know what we can do. Yeah, I know what we can do. Okay, well Bramble Thorne still has some actions to take. So the next action is going to be a room action where he is going to take another one of these glyphs. He can't take another room action because he cast a spell, so he is going to move. And I think he's going to move here to pick up some glyphs there with Niveta. And that is going to end Bramble Thorne's turn. Okay, let's move on to Flitter now. Okay, so in Flitter we're going to activate all threats in the planar rift. There aren't any. In the unstable room there aren't any, so this is going to go away. And we're going to draw another disaster for Flitter. It's going to be another activate threats card, which there will be some from this one, I think, maybe. And then we're going to get on with Flitter's turn. Now Flitter has the one root, the glyph already, and I really would like to cast Scribe. So we're going to the wand says you may use any glyph as if it were the glyph in this box. So okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pick up a glyph, and it's going to be the correct kind. It's going to be this one. And then we're going to use this one and the one shared in Bramble Thorne's box, which is this one, to... I'm sorry, that's a mistake. That is not the rune we're going to pick up. Flitter is actually in the laboratory, so it's going to be one of these. I can show you that. So we're going to use both of these. We're going to use them through the wand as if they were these, so I can cast the Scribe spell. And we're going to use the Scribe spell, boom, to perform a library's bind spell action, which is going to be freeze, which is right here. If you can see that, yep, boom. So we're going to flip that over and lock it. That means we know that freeze is there. Now I wish we had some better good spells. That would be awfully nice. We're not finding any good spells at all. We do know where one is, and I wish we could get to it, but we have a problem with some glyphs right now. So, yeah, it's a little rough. So anyway, that was first action, room. Second action, cast a spell, the Scribe spell. Third action, I think we're going to move. Yep, Flitter's going to move here, and that's going to end Flitter's turn. Now we're going to go on to Niveta. So Niveta has a bunch of these glyphs, boom, and we're going to first do her disaster. It says activate water portal. There is a water portal. If there is no threatening water portals, place one in a random room, but there is one. So we're going to take a water token and we're going to put it here. There's 2 water tokens there. Now if a freeze hits that, those are both going to freeze, and anything in that room would be destroyed instantly, good, bad, or indifferent. So let's pull this card. It's going to be an imp invasion next time Niveta gets to go. And now Niveta's going to take her turn. So, sure would be nice. I can do a room action. So the first action Niveta's going to take is to pick one of these up. We're not in the library. We can't cast Scribe quite yet. That's going to be Flitter's job, I think, throughout this game. But what we can do... No, we can't. We already know where the freeze spell is. We already know where... Gosh, I just didn't have any runes that she can use that can get her to a spell we don't already know. So I think after picking up that room, she's going to boogie. And the biggest problem is we don't have a spell that can destroy anything, so we can't get rid of a guardian in the holy room to get that glyph and start uncovering those. But, you know, we do have still... Yeah, we do actually have a spell we can go for. So Niveta picked up the glyph for a room action, move, and it's going to sacrifice spell action for a room action, and pick one of these up. So now we can get... There is another spell that Niveta will be able to get next turn. but that's going to be after a massive imp invasion explosion. So imps everywhere. Okay, that was Nivetta's turn, actually. Boom, just like that. So we're going to do one more turn and keep going. Okay, back to Bramble Thorne. So what we got here with Bramble Thorne is, first we're going to do his disaster. Rather, it says activate all threats in the laboratory, mana crystal, and outer dimension. There are none. So that's a good thing. We're going to get rid of that disaster and draw another one. We're getting close to the end of this round of disasters, though. It says activate all threats. We're going to do that. Now we get to take Bramble Thorne's turn. Bramble Thorne does have one glyph of that type. So here's what we're going to do with Bramble Thorne. Okay, so Bramble Thorne is in this room. So for the first action of Bramble Thorne, he's going to pick up one of these glyphs. That's going to be his room action. He already has one, but he's picking up one anyway. And then he's going to cast a spell using these two glyphs, and I'll show you which one it is. So he casts a spell as a second action. Actually, I take that back. Here's what he's going to do. He's going to not cast these ones, so we're going to take that back. He's going to cast these two to use the scribe spell again. So that spell again allows us to use the library action. Then we're going to call the Kleptomania card, and we're going to flip that over, and boom, we now have Kleptomania turned up. We're not going to have to deal with that one. That was a better play. So we picked up we picked one up, a glyph. We cast a spell. We cast a scribe spell to lock in the Kleptomania, and then we're going to stay there because he wants to get another one of these runes so that we can cast another spell. Of course, a Flitter has one. We'll have none of those, but we're heading to do something else with Flitter. Okay, now let's. He's not going. So yeah, Bramble Thorne's going to sacrifice his last move to stay in the room with that glyph. So that's going to be the end of Bramble Thorne's turn. We might as well put this one in the shared box just for the heck of it in case it can get used. And then we're going to move on to Flitter. So Flitter has no glyphs right now, just has the glyph that, it's not a glyph, it's just a marker in the wand. And then this is the disaster for Flitter. It says activate all threats in the enchanted well and flux point, which I don't believe there are any. There's a darkness in the flux point, so we are going to activate that. In the enchanted well, there are 2 imps, so we are going to do some activating. Okay, so let's look at this one. This is the darkness in the flux point. What happens when darkness is activated? Let's see. Darkness. Darkness activated. Activating darkness has no effect, so it doesn't do anything. It's only when it's endured. Okay, then we're going to go on to the imps. Now we do know that the imps are going to do something. It says all those situations, the imps move into a random adjoining room because they are not in a. Let's read all the qualifiers. In a room with at least one wizard who has a glyph. No. In a room with a glyph source. Yes. Each wizard loses a glyph of that type. If at least one glyph is lost, that way the imps remove fire or water from the room it occupies. So there's no fire or water in that room, and the only one that has a glyph of that type is Nivetta. It is this glyph, so Nivetta will lose one of those. The imps are stealing it from the source and taking it from our characters. That's not cool. And then that's going to be, oh, there's 2 of them there. So does that mean that, oh, is Nivetta going to lose 2 of those? Is that really how that would work? That's really bad. Got to kill some imps. We have no destruction, no spells that can kill anything. In a room with a glyph source. Oh, then the imp is removed from the board, having stolen everything. Okay, so that imp is gone. So that is going to happen. So Nivetta loses another one of these, and then this imp disappears as well. Okay. So they stole glyphs from the source, which took it from the random wizard who had it. Or it would have taken it from all of them, but or any one of them, but she was the only one that had them. Okay, now we're going to get on with Flitter's turn. Okay, let's do that. So Flitter's way up in the top corner. Apologies, I'm going slower so I can try not to make any errors. There's a lot to think about. So we're going to do a move room action. We're going to go move. Hopefully no ice comes up here. We're going to do a room action to pick up one of these glyphs. Bam, there we go. I'm going to put it in our shared space just in case it can get used. And that's going to be it for Flitter. And that was a quick turn for Flitter, but let's move on. Oh, we got to draw her other disaster. I didn't do that. Let's see what it is. It's going to be a discharge. The current player immediately casts the highest level botch spell that has been bound. This costs no glyphs. Well, that's going to be freeze. She's got to get out of there. What? Oh my gosh. I don't know how I can get her out of there. I don't seem to have a way to get her out. I don't have a way to get her out of this. She's going to die next turn. You know, I would have known this. So, we're not going to take that. We're going to take that back. We're not going to do that. If she moves into there, she's dead. So, let's see. What else can she do? And that really bites because we need those glyphs. Now, send her to get them. Okay. So, we know we're going to cast a free spell. We know that. So, here's what we can do. We're going to move. 1, 2, 3. We'll cast a free spell in there, then we'll move back next turn and pick up the glyphs. I know it seems like a wasted turn. She could move down there and get more glyphs, but we don't need to. I mean, there's nothing she can cast. Well, there is, actually. Nope, there's not. Well, there is one spell she could cast, but it's not going to make a difference. Okay, let's rethink this. Because if I move there and stop, then I have the same problem with the ice spell. So we'll do that. We'll do what I just did. Because any place we move into a room with the ice token is going to be bad. Man, we got to get some good spells. The only spell that we have that's really good is the ward spell and the scribe spell. Everything else is a botch. So all the good spells are still buried apparently. That's just not good at all. But let's continue. So that's going to be Flitter's turn. Now we're going to do Nivetta's, and then we're going to end this session. So Nivetta's disaster was an imp invasion. So let's do that. Let's do the imp invasion. We're going to activate a whole bunch of imps. So these two imps don't have anywhere to go that they can get the glyphs or anything, so they're going to move in a random direction. I don't know if you just move them both or one at a time. I don't know. It seems like a waste. We're going to move in the direction of the cursed room. So these two, I'm going to put this one here in the corner just to know that that's what we did. Then we're going to take another one. It's going to go in the same direction to here. We're going to put those in the corner. Now we got to activate all of these. Again, there's no character close enough to him to get to. Wait, there's a room with a glyph. Let me look that up again. I think they're going to move to the horde. Let me see. Imps. I like these mechanics. Just looking stuff up all the time gets a little tedious. In a room, adjoining a room that contains a glyph or a wizard who has a glyph, move into the adjoining room that meets the criteria. Okay, so all of these guys are moving here. They go scampering off. So good thing that we don't have any of those tokens because we're going to lose them next turn. And if we're going to lose them on the next imp activation because they're going to take a whole bunch of those things out of there and bail. So if there are fewer than 3 portals, there are actually 3 portals. And then we activate the imp portals. So there are 3 portals out currently, so there are not fewer than 3. There's one here, but we know that this one up in the corner is just going to die because of the guardian. So then one appears here and one appears there. And that is Nivetta's disaster. What's coming next? Okay, just some activations. We'll see how that goes. Now Nivetta is in the laboratory, which as an action, let's see, let me look at the laboratory. It's hard to read sideways. I'm going to look it up in the book. It'll be easier for me. Let's see, what's the laboratory do? You may spend a room action to remotely move an element of a single type fire, water, or ice token and move it into an adjoining room. Might do that. So let's first take a room action and pick up. Will this help us? I'm thinking, will this help us? Yes, it will. We're going to pick up a... Yes, it's going to help us. So we're going to pick up a glyph from there. Boom. Now, we can cast a spell from there and see what happens. We do have a spell we can cast. I think we're going to do it as our second action, which means we're going to burn both of these. So she's going to cast a spell. Boom. She's going to do that. Those go away, and that means we're going to cast this spell here that adjoins those two sections. What is it? Hopefully, light. remove all darkness tokens in your room, move all demons in it or joining your room away from you. Okay, well, we don't have to worry about that, but we do know that this spell is light, and that's a good spell. And we don't have anything that's going to shuffle the spells right now. So maybe in the next turn, Flitter can get that one dealt with so that we can turn it up. That's actually a good spell, my god. All right, now we still have, so we did a room action, then we cast a spell. We still have a move action left, and we're going to use it so that we can move Niveta here to this room where we can pick up those. That's a really good spell. So a really good room because that allows us to do the scribe spell, and we can get some more spells up. Now I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could call the first level spell if we can get it cast. Get scribe cast, because I know it's Nova, because it's the only one left in the first level spells that I shuffled in there. All the other ones are already out, so it's got to be Nova, which is a spell that we seeded into the first level spells for this session that allow us to actually kill some things. So we got to get that spell next turn. Anyway, we're going to end it there. That's going to be the end of the session. Again, trying to go a little slower and be a little more meticulous about the turns. Tell me if I made any glaring errors. If I made some minor ones, let's just walk over them and have fun. But if there's something that's glaring or really detrimental to the game, let me know. And I will talk to you soon, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the subscriptions. I did say I was going to do some kind of giveaway, something. I'm still debating that. Something out of my collection. I like to give things out. I got such a massive collection now. I'm thinking maybe I'll give away a copy of... let me think. I got to think about this. I got so many things to give away that I don't want to, but I want you guys to have a good game. So I'm going to think about this again. I'm going to do a separate video probably in the next day or so, just talking about some kind of contest for you guys, because I do want to give some stuff away for passing 3,000 subscribers, and I keep going up. So again, I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate all the feedback and the discussion. Got some cool things coming. Got some really neat ideas if I can get them rolled out. And we'll see what happens. But guys, thanks for subscribing again. Thanks for all of the likes, shares, and all that good stuff. Keep doing it, please. It's helpful. Helps keep the subscriber base up, which helps me pay for some of the stuff to do the filming and everything, which I appreciate. So thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.